That ending song, man, it gets me every week. It really does. Am I really the only one that gets, like, tears in their eyes when they hear that ending song play? It's like, they save the saddest moments right at the end of the episode, and they sling all these feels on top of you, and you're just getting crushed, and then this ending song plays, and then, you know, it's a sad ending song, because, you know, I talked about what the ending really means a couple episodes back when it was first introduced, and to see every time it just starts playing, I'm like, just Shigatsu, just fucking stop. As I said last week, I've been saying it for the past couple weeks, it's getting harder and harder to really just review, because I just want to react. Like, it's so sad. Like, this series is so sad. It really is. The ending of the episode. Okay, let me just dive into this in details, and then I'll say my reaction and sadness for the end of the video. So, in this episode, there is a lot of character development. Like, there's a crazy amount of character development for Nagi, getting to see some for her brother. Kosei gets a little bit of development. You have it to where Kaori, we get to see what's going on with her. You know, just so many different things going on in this episode. And half of the episode, to be real with you, is nothing but a piano recital. That's just pretty much what it is. You know, playing a piano for half the episode. Now, that necessarily isn't a bad thing. That entire segment of this episode was actually geared towards Nagi's development and also geared towards her brother's development at the exact same time. And so, the first half of this episode focused on their character development, fleshing out their characters, and getting to see, you know, how they are after, you know, the song is said and done. So, one thing I have to say, as I said last week, Nagi is definitely going to be Kosei's shining light to get him through the darkness he is about to probably tread inside of, because this episode once again shows us that Kaori's getting worse and worse. Now, it was very subtle for what they did. I mean, it was subtle, but it wasn't. It just depends if you're really paying attention to the key signs. But Kaori, in this episode, when we get to see her playing the little, you know, toy piano thing, and you see the two children sitting at the bench with her, they make sure to center the attention on Kaori's hand when she's playing the piano, and you see how her fingertips are, like, shaking like this, like, slightly shaken, and it was exactly how her legs were shaking. When, you know, she lost feeling in her legs, she couldn't walk and stuff. That was pretty much what was happening to Kaori when she was trying to play the piano. So, from what I can understand, she's starting to lose feeling in all her body, not just her lower half, but in other places of her body, which will make playing the violin impossible, which leads into the tragedy of this episode, and it's the real sadness of this episode, because obvious death flag once again is obvious, along with more tragedy just laid on top of us. Like, you go to where Kosei comes in after the piano, given the development to, you know, Nagi and her brother, after all that development stuff like that, and seeing how Kosei has changed, he goes and visits Kaori at the end of the episode, and when he does this, he gives Kaori this hope. This hope and this wish for her dream, like, to continue going after her dream. And she says, in her mind, like, she already accomplished the dream she wanted. Like, she set out and accomplished a dream, and you can assume it was playing with Arima. That's what she tried to do. And to see this, it's very sad, but then she says, at the end of the episode, like, he gave her a reason to dream again. She will start dreaming and hoping and stuff like that. Like, he came in and gave her a shining light. Like, he could be a reference to her shining light to keep moving forward. And it's sad because at the end, the final dialogue of this episode, she wants to play with him once again. She wants to be playing the violin and him, you know, play the piano, and they go to a concert and play. That's what she wants to do. That's her dream. And I have a bad feeling the way this is going, that when it comes to December time, like, there's going to be a competition coming up in a couple months that was supposedly set in this episode. This competition, Arima and, you know, the Nagi's brother is going to be participating in this competition. We're going to get to see them, you know, having a big, you know, battle. And Kaori most likely is going to be Kosei's, you know, helper at that time. I'm willing to place money that she is going to help him out in that time. And I feel like if this series is really going to take the sad and tragic route, for instance, she's going to die, if she does in fact die, I still have my cards on the table that she might not die, but I mean, if this series wants to be realistic, and if she does have a disease like ALS or something, I mean, there's no way she should honestly be able to survive if she does have a disease like that. But regardless of that, I feel like if it does go down the tragic path, what's coming up in December, that this competition might be the final time Kaori can play the violin. I'm willing to bet. She might collapse. She might not be able to participate because she's sick and dying. I don't know. I'm just assuming. I'm making, you know, theories, throwing them out there. But I just hope we don't get something that really disappoints me, because the build-up of this series, it has so much potential to impress me. Like, the impressions I have from this series right now, it is really good. Like, it's been a long time since I've actually sat down and felt like this, like, have so many feels watching a series, and Shigatsu does that. It really does. It's rare for me to have this amount of feels. I think the last time I truly had feels like this, you know, not counting Clenad, the last time I had feels as hard as this was Hunter x Hunter episode 135. That was the last time I think I felt like this, or, you know, the way it's leading up to. If it does, in fact, end like the way it's going, if it does take the path I think it's going, it most likely is going to bring up this familiar feels I had on episode 135 of Hunter x Hunter, so we'll have to see. That's pretty much it. That's all I want to say. How do y'all feel about this episode of Shigatsu? The feels are immense. I love y'all so much. Please be safe. Chibi out.